Ron Slay joins us now, and we absolutely love Ron Slay. How are you, Ron, sir?
I'm getting hydrated from Vegas, guys. How you guys doing?
I hear you. How'd Vegas go? That sounds awful.
it's it went good. It's still going apparently. No, it was a great time, man. Great interviews, great networking. It's always good to hear other people's perspective and learning more about people and their journey to get to this point. So it was a dope time. Plus, we saw Wayne Newton. Wayne Newton gave me a thumbs up.
Oh, so did you actually get to talk to him, or did you go to like a show?
Yeah, no. We were doing Radio Row, and he came. I was gonna say he came walking by, but he kind of glides.
Yes,
kind of like he's on clouds. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he was gliding by. So when he was gliding by, he gave me a thumbs up. I was like, "Hey!" And I pointed at Wayne Newton, and he was about to sit at our table because I guess he thought he was supposed to have an interview with us, and his handler kind of grabbed him like, "No, let's go this way." I was like, "Dang, we almost had Wayne Newton."
Who was rude to you in Radio Row?
Man, actually, man, see, this is the trick. Like, nobody's really mean. The reason being, they all think I played football. You know what I'm saying? So I fit in well. So by the time they realize, oh man, he didn't play football, it's too late. We done got an interview, or I done got the phone number or something like. Yeah, it's. And then when I put my sunglasses on, they really like, oh man, maybe that Dawn is his handler. So they start asking me for autographs and trying to get me to do interviews. I did like 3 interviews.
It's pretty well crafted. He just continues to explode onto the scene. My rude one was Andy Rooney. Do you remember him at the? Have I told you this story?
No, you never told this.
Okay, so at the end of 60 Minutes, he'd get on and just complain about anything. I hate our light switches. Why do you hate light switches? I don't know. I got to wait. So he would complain about everything. So I went up to him and I said, Mr. Rooney, I'm a big 60 Minutes fan. I said, I would love to have you on the show with this John Wilkerson and Jimmy Himes, these hacks over there. No, I'm kidding. I love John. So I would love to have you over there with them. Could you come over? He goes, no. I don't have time. Just leave me alone. And he's going on and on. And then so he's walking around. He's an elderly man. And I was taught in the South, if an elderly person is having trouble, you help.
Right.
So he couldn't find the credential area. And I said, Mr. Rooney, if I may help, I was not going to ask for another interview. That was dead. Yeah. I was going to say, it's right over there. And he goes, I told you once just to leave me alone. Get out of my face. And just tore me anew in front of, I remember Chris Berman was there. Harrell Carmichael was there, the old receiver for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal.
Ron, I got a totally random question because Dave and I kind of disagree with this, but we need a former player's perspective.
What's up?
You obviously saw the Travis Kelce interaction with Andy Reid in the game. And I understand it. He's competitive, fire. Don't you think there was a little extra there because she was up there in the press box? And if you were playing a basketball game and your high profile girlfriend is there and you're not getting the ball, aren't you gonna be a little mad?
You know what it was, man? I told Babs asked me the same thing on our show. And I before he came out with his response on him and his brother's podcast, I'd already told her. And we also had Tracy Wolfson on, and she said she echoed the same exact thing that I said. So I told her it was a culmination of the entire season to that point. And you got to imagine how he even said when he came on and did his pregame interview, pre-week interview, Super Bowl Radio Row, that he felt the window closing. And as an athlete, once you start to admit that to yourself, you start to get pressure, especially getting to the Super Bowl. You know how difficult it is to get there. So, he had ups and downs through the seasons. Yes, Taylor was there. He wanted to impress her. But he also wants to hush up the naysayers and her not be the reason why he's not performing up to the way he's supposed to. So he had opportunities in the game, and he's like, man, I'm the dog. Like, why are y'all not giving me the ball? Not knowing that, man, listen, the game plan is game plan. You know you're going to get involved. But every time you're out there, you want to be able to make a play, whether it be blocking, catching, whatever it is. You just want to be on the field. And I felt all of that right there. The frustration built up, and he bumped it. Was he wrong for bumping him? Yes, indeed. But did I understand it? I totally understand. I totally understood it. I totally understood it, dog. Because that window, man, when that window closing and you make amends with yourself, make peace with yourself, like this is coming to an end, man, every game is all out. It's the last game you're going to play. So you saw what happened with Greenlaw. Like, it can happen like that, man. It's weird. So, yeah, I totally understood it, man. And then when he came out, and Tracy Wolfson said the same thing. She was like, man, I've never seen him emotional like this before the games. Usually he's calm and just ready to get to work. But, man, I'm telling you, you get up there in age, dog, that window closed, you start acting differently.
But
I hope that answered your question, Kevin.
No, that did. I could see
think
that.
he gave a great answer, and it didn't have anything to do with Taylor Swift, which I was good. So, Taylor Swift, hot or not?
That's hot.
Hot. For me.
Uh-oh.
She's
Nobody
hot.
starts out for me.
I'ma
Nobody
say-
starts
I'ma-
out to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. For me, she's hot plate hot. If that
Hot
makes
plate
sense.
hot. All right.
You know what I mean?
go.
Like she's not in the oven hot where it's gonna be hot for a long time.
She's microwave
not on the
hot.
Stove. You know what I'm saying? See, Caleb, we talking about old school. We give you old school reference, and we talking about the hot
Yeah.
plate. You just warm it up. She get hot
And
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Greatest singers, and I'm gonna forget one, but greatest female singers: Aretha, Whitney, Christina Aguilera, Mariah Carey. I'm just talking about
Ooh.
ability to go 8 octaves.
You talking about real live voice, vocal cord.
I'm talking about they could be as ugly as the three of us.
Hell yeah.
They're still
Ooh.
making a career.
Whitney number one. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
All right, ain't no. Ooh. And I'm gonna be real. My birthday, me and my fiance, we had an opportunity to go see her at an intimate concert. Beyonce number 2 for me.
Beyonce can sing. I've seen her live.
Look,
She's
good
got
God
a
Almighty.
mad range.
Hey man, it's stupid. Oh my gosh, it's dumb. So that would be then. I never seen Mariah Carey. I would go with Aretha next. Then I'll go with Mariah. Patty ain't no punk. Patty LaBelle can she can get, you know what I mean?
No. And I went back and listened to a little bit of Bonnie Holiday, but I couldn't get a clear enough rendition to really judge. I love music. But anyway, I love Ron more. So Ron, I take basketball losses in stride. And I don't know if you remember that from when I covered you, but listen, as good as Tennessee's basketball team had been playing, win at Kentucky, and then to go to A&M and seemingly have dead legs, I thought, and not play well was not the end of the world for me because the Aggies were hitting everything too, especially in the first half. I just didn't see that as a disconcerting loss. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. I felt the exact same way. Now, I did think that Tennessee helped them out by, being a step slow, but they did a terrific job of attacking Dalton Connect. Like they put them in so many different matchups till they found it. Then they had movement going where they could play one-on-one with Dalton Connect. And he was a step behind. And I think you saw exactly what you should have saw in Texas A&M against Arkansas. So it means he went back and watched the film study and was like, man, I gotta give more effort defensively. Like this was 1 dribble, 2 dribble blow-bys for Wade Taylor and Boots Radford when they were playing at A&M. You look at the game against Arkansas, Tremont Marcus just as talented and as long, and he was defending him and L. Ellis and everybody else, Minifield Jr., the way we thought he should have did at Texas A&M. But this is the difference. Texas A&M was picked the second to finish in the league. Texas A&M also has the preseason SEC Player of the Year, who probably should have been runner-up last year in Wade Taylor. And we all know, we've been around basketball quite some time. If one person at home comes out with that potential to get hot and goes 3 for 3, you can probably cut the lights off, man, unless you're going to get them in foul trouble. And that's what happened. Then this Robin Boots Radford is healthy. Like, it was the perfect storm. I never expect Tennessee to get outworked on the rebounds. I think that was the thing. Anderson Garcia coming in and just dominating. But he's been doing that all year as well. So this was probably the first week A&M was healthy. All together as one. No guys missing out. Solomon Washington playing. Jace Carter finally thrust into his role, being the third guy that can score. Like, it was a perfect storm. I'm gonna be honest. That's the A&M we've been expecting all year, and it don't help that you're ranked top 10 coming in there, and they need a quad one win.
Well said,
Ron. I'm going to take a risk and take a little bit of issue with what you said, and the reason I'm taking a risk is because Tracy Wilson was one of my first TV crushes when I used to watch games back in the day, and I was asking to put a good word in for me. But one of the issues that I have with that is I think I had never been a fan. If you think you have a Final Four team, and I think Tennessee is a Final Four caliber team, national title caliber team.
Right.
I think the number one thing you can't do is dismiss a loss because a team got hot shooting from three. Right. Because you're going to run into a team in March that gets hot shooting from three. It's just inevitable. And the question is, can you withstand it? Now, you're right. Arkansas was red hot shooting, and Tennessee withstood it perfectly. I mean, I actually thought the first half was more impressive than the second half against Arkansas because they were able to withstand the blows that Arkansas was throwing them. So isn't it still concerning that Tennessee couldn't withstand the blows Texas A&M was throwing at them on Saturday, even though they were red hot shooting from three? Because you're going to hit a team like that, aren't you, in March?
Yeah, you can, but okay. So this is my thing. You will be more alert, I believe, when March comes. Two, Dalton Connect. This is what I'm saying. They had a great game plan, and you were able to learn in a regular season game what the game plan was. Let's get Dalton Connect in foul trouble. They took a blueprint from Kentucky. Remember, Kentucky was trying to attack Dalton Connect with the arrow, running them off screens. And I felt like Kentucky almost went away from what their floor of their offense was to try to attack Dalton Connect. And it kind of got lost, and Tennessee was on fire, so it didn't play out that way. I think Texas A&M, when you look at it, the problem was I do think they were going back and forth with them. It wasn't the hot shooting to me. It was the second chance rebounds, the second chance points, like giving up offensive rebounds. You were getting stops that you needed to get. Yes, the hot shooting is one, but you withstood that. It was the offensive rebounds that Garcia was getting and keeping the balls alive. Then Henry Coleman started to get. Then Solomon Washington started to get. Like, that was the problem for me more so than the hot shooting. I think they can withstand that. My thing is, and which I think is going to travel, they had 3 Tobey Walkers out there. Yep. That's why I think, like, you know what I'm saying? And then and as much as a problem was with Dalton Connect defending the ball, I thought Jonas Adu was another situation that he wasn't involved as he should. And that's why I thought coming out in the Arkansas game, them getting him back involved early, that bodes well. Because we seem to sit and wonder, why is Santiago Vescovi his production down? Why is Josiah-Jordan James production down? The reason their production is down is because we become reliant on other guys. So Jonas Adu gets more shots, gets 10 to 12 shots a game when they're rolling. Zakai is aggressive. He getting 10 to 12 shots. Dalton Connect is getting 15 to 18 shots when they're rolling. You get a guy like Gainey coming in that you need to be a hot plate, 8 to 10 shots when he's rolling. You know what I'm saying? So now somebody's shots have to diminish if you're not going to get up and down in a slow-paced game like Texas A&M wants to play. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying those people need to be efficient. If that's the case, then we need to take Adu out of the picture, give him 5 to 6 shots, give those shots to Santi, get Josiah going like they did in the Arkansas game. But the only problem is they're veterans. They're not worried about that. What do we have to do to win? So that's where I'm coming from with it.
Ron, let me ask you this, because there were a couple of times that it was debatable in that A&M game that you call a timeout, you're the head coach, you maybe slow down a running streak, and there were times that Rick Barnes did, and there were times that he didn't. As a player, when you're going through a bout where you're giving away 6, 8, 10 points, do you want a timeout there, or would you rather fight through it, or does it just depend on how the run's going?
Yeah, it's tough, man. You got to know your team. I've been in situations when I was younger, and I'd be like, man, come on, man, they got to call a timeout. And coach would look like, hey, man, go play. Let me coach. You go play. You know what I'm saying? And I've also been a veteran, and I've been like, when I come to the timeout, hey, coach, let us fight through it, man. This is a season. Like, let us fight through it. Let us get some experience with this. Maybe we do go down 14, but we all of a sudden have experience being down 14, how to counter a run. You know what I'm saying? And maybe save the timeouts and use the media timeout as your timeout when it comes. So I think, man, in those 4-minute increments, you got to figure out a way, especially with a veteran group, that they figure it out on their own, because you can't always burn timeouts. You need those going down the stretch, especially in March Madness. It's nothing like being down 8 with 1:45 to go and you got 3 timeouts. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And everybody know how to respond to it. So I've been on both sides of the coin. As a veteran, I would say, man, let us fight through it. As a young guy, I'm looking to a coach because I'm inexperienced to make the timeout so we can have some kind of direction to go.
So, Ron, you brought it up 2 weeks ago. I believe you've been an early recognizer of this, and I have to. I've been screaming it from the rooftops, which is that, and I think this ties right into your offensive rebounds and second chance points that hurt Tennessee last Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's driving me crazy that Rick Barnes won't go to his bench. He played Zakai Ziegler 40 minutes in a loss last Saturday. Mm-hmm. Wednesday, that was a 20-point win, and he still has – that was a 30-point win, and he still has Connect Vescovi – Connect Ziegler and Adu all playing 30 minutes. Why won't he go to his bench?
Hey, listen, I've been – Caleb, in the games even that they've won, and in particular the games that they lost, the bench has just been dismal. If they may not even be like it's the bench scoring when you compare it in wins and losses is crazy. Like if Gainey doesn't come in and get hot, it's almost like you have zero bench production. You know what you're getting from Meshack. But I'm with you. You got to extend, because going down, man, you look at the teams that are playing and playing really well. Look at Auburn. You look at Alabama. You look at South Carolina. Like even Kentucky, if they click and get it rolling, it's honestly because of their depth and everybody's playing fresh. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get it. I would love to see Freddie Dillon. I don't understand what he does wrong, but it's got to be something that we can't see in practice. Estrella, Cade Phillips, like these guys, like Tobe. I understand Tobe because when Jonas Adu has it going, Adu plays without fouling. So it's kind of difficult to take a big presence like him off the floor. So I understand Tobe's minutes being down a bit, but I'm right there with you, man. Like you can't speak about depth, and we talked about it before. Can't speak about depth and compare them to past teams if you don't use the depth. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if Bruce Pearl had those horses, not to compare coaches, but imagine if Jerry Green had those horses. Like we were 10-man rotation. Like, no questions.
It was hard to keep track of who was coming in and out of the game. I mean, it really was. I mean, you're like,
you know, like, exactly. That's how it should be, man. And all the teams right there at the upper echelon of the SEC, they playing deep. Like, Auburn played a guy, I had no idea who he was, and I've been following them all year. Some guy named Johnson. Baker Mazar threw the ball from the corner, and the guy was cutting. The guy that dunked very, very hard. Like, I had no idea. I was asking people, like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? So,
Ron, you're a much better man than Andy Rooney. Know that for the rest of your life. And yeah, just get out of here. I'm just trying to.
That's almost a Jerry Green like.
It is. And we got caught on an elevator together too. So he got to tell me how he hated me a little bit more. And I'm like, Ron, I'm like 24. I mean, I'm just getting torn up by Andy Rooney from 60 Minutes. I mean, it was like that Chris Hansen thing. Why don't you have a seat over there? Yeah. What do you have? The wine coolers? Huh?
See, you should have asked Andy Rooney that timeout, the younger Dave Hooker. Hey, man, would you rather have a timeout right then, or would you rather fight through it and get scolded?
I just got beat down. I didn't have an official to call a timeout, or I would have. He's Ron Slay. I'm Dave Hooker for Caleb Calhoun. This has been a presentation of Off the Hook Sports. Thank you, Ron.
All right, fellas, go ball.
See you, buddy.